Hello there! Welcome to another Dynamo tutorial. In this occasion, we're going to see the more advanced controls that Dynamo offers. So again, let's open up a project and let us begin. First, let's make a quick recap of the basic controls. As we saw before, we move forward by pressing W, back by pressing S, left by pressing A, and right by pressing D. And you can also move up and down in the plane by pressing R or F. You can always go to the settings menu and check the control diagram there. If we hold the right click and move our mouse, we will look around. On the other hand, we grab an object by placing the cursor over and we left click and hold it. As we click, we can turn the object by pressing shift. Also, you can hold control while you click to rotate the object around an axis. There is also the swing mode grab, which we do by holding shift before we click. That way the object will swing around the grab point. Now, if we don't hold the left click, we'll only select the object. We can see it when it highlights in yellow. And by holding shift now, we can select multiple objects. We can also double click as well to select the entire group the object belongs to. When we have something selected, we can press tab to change the selection mode. It's indicated here on the screen. You can also change it by pressing the arrows. This will open the menu with the properties of the object. Now to deselect it, just press C. Try not to hold it for more than 2 seconds, because otherwise you will make it disappear, unless that's what you want to do. To connect objects, we press a space when the green line appears, and like deleting an object, to delete a connection we have to select it and hold C. Now, in case we don't want the object juggling around, we can press enter to enter pause mode, so the objects will remain static. Now to start with more advanced controls, let's see the grid snap. What this does is that it aligns the camera to the nearest grid, and you do this by pressing the control key 2 times. You can also do it as you hold an object. It'll do the same. Now, while holding an object, you can cycle through grab modes by pressing tab. In this way, you can select in what axis you want the object to be moved. And finally, there is a double grab function that might come handy. While you hold an object, double press and hold shift, so the object remains grabbed. And you can freely move the cursor to grab other objects. And remember that if you let go shift, the first object will fall. Great. With that out of the way, let's go back with Kev1N and his left wheel. Let's go to control mode by pressing 2 on our keyboard. Okay, we know how to attach the mouse as a controller output. Now let's do it with the keyboard. Since there are a couple more variables involved here, we have to be a little bit more specific in how we build our control diagram, so Kev1N knows what's going on. First, let's give it a motor, as we did before. We go to motion and drag the motor next to Kev1N and press the spacebar to attach it. Now, like I said, the keyboard is going to be the controller this time, so let's look for the keyboard output in the control menu. Let's drag it, and also, let's grab 2 keyboard keys. It's this icon right here. And since we want to make the same motion as we did before, that is move forward and backwards, we have to grab 2 keyboard keys, one for each movement. And let's drag it to the center. Now let's click one of the keys we dragged and press tab. We'll see that a menu pops up and shows a keyboard. Now we have to tell Kev1N which keys are going to move him. So let's assign A in this key and D in the other one. And then let's attach it to the controller. Now before we connect everything else, there is an issue. And I'm gonna get a bit technical here, so bear with me. Since the key press are 0 and 1, that is on and off, the keyboard thinks those are the same movement, since both keys will be 0 and 1. To help Kev1N understand the difference between one another, we have to use a filter called subtract, here in the logical menu. What this does, it's pretty much what it suggests. It will subtract the values, so on one side we have a -1 and the other side we have a +1. And now those are different movements. And finally, just to give it a more modern feature, let's add a smooth filter. Since the key presses tend to be very mechanical and instantaneous, the movement won't be very organic. With this filter, the transition between movements will be a lot smoother. We attach everything to the right side of the motor, the one that controls the speed, and that's it. Let's press 3 on our keyboard and enter play mode to test our controls. And we have a response. And that's it for this video. Stay tuned for more tutorials and content. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook so you know the more recent news about Dynamo. And we'll see you next time.